We're traveling through dimensions, so let's travel through time as well. Let's pretend we're on the eve of season 3. You have been entrusted with selecting the theme song for season 3 and with deciding who leads the dance. What song are you picking, or is your character picking for season 3?
I would love a salsa song. I will be leading it. Steve will be my assistant. And you'll be right next to me teaching the rest of the cast the salsa move.
Oh, that's a horrible idea. I would kind of want to stick with the kind of more glammy rock
and roll
sensibility that James is used to, but I think maybe I'd go with David Bowie. David's my
iconic.
You know, David.
Your friend David. Yeah.
David Bowie's my favorite. And maybe I would be super on the nose with Let's Dance.
The song is KC and the Sunshine Band. I'm Your Boogeyman. And it's Jen is leading the way. Yeah.
If it was Harcourt's soundtrack, my opinion about that is that it's going to be some sort of 90s grunge.
Okay.
That's, I think, her era, and I think that if you're in a debate between Harcourt, you find in season 1 doesn't love Peacemaker's choice in glam metal.
Yep.
And I think that's because my idea of why that is that she is the classic grunge versus glam metal sort of clash. And I think that she thinks she listens to the best type of rock music, and she thinks his is cheesy. So I think it would be some sort of 90s rock song.
This is great. Assert Harcourt's dominance over Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Cleanse the timeline. Ideal.
Is KC and the Sunshine Band not grunge?
Oh. Interesting.
Yes.
No, but I like how flirty you're being when you say that, though.
I'm gonna let James pick it. Look, there's a reason he's a creator of the show, but I would let Jen Holland lead because she is a great coach when it comes to the dance moves. So I would let her be in charge.
I'm gonna say, as vigilante, maybe it would be Roller Coaster by Bewitched. I feel like that could be
I love it.
something we could all dance to.
Well, I mean, I'm leading the dance, clearly. Why wouldn't I? And if I'm picking the song, I would never pick a song over James's playlist because he's a savant about this and has amazing things. But right now, my boys love listening to this crazy, loud, hardcore, like rock and roll punk song that my buddy is actually in the band. It's called the band is called Ignite, and the song is called Fear Is Our Tradition. And every time I get in the car, they go, "Dad, play that song, play the rock and roll song." And my wife is like, "What is happening? Why is this? It's so loud. It's so insane." And they just rock out because they've got all that testosterone kicking through their body. And so I would just take that song and make that it.
Okay, I think we have a solid plan for season 3. If Peacemaker had extended the orgy invite to your characters, what is the RSVP? Is it via emoji? Is it words? Are you ignoring the invite entirely? Are you just showing up?
I'd assume that the second Peacemaker presses send, Vigilante's head pops up from his window. Probably, like he's been waiting there the entire time.
Yeah.
That or a bunch of mermen.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that Addie would show up very hesitant about what she's getting herself into. I think she would come with a lot of condoms for the guys. She's a real homie and she wants to make sure, no pop-up pregnancies, But then I think like Addie would just hope that there would be a young woman to roll up on her. I don't think she would roll up on a young woman, but I think she would love it if some woman just took her and just was like, let's go.
Wait, what's the question? How they'd respond in a text? Or like, how would you do it?
Why not go into how they would respond to the
how
scenario?
would they do it?
Well, all of the above. It's all
I use
fair
my
game.
imagination.
There you go. I love it.
It's a hard no.
It's a pass.
It's a pass.
Okay.
I really don't think that, I think this is something that when it comes to Harcourt, probably Chris would be pretty embarrassed for her to know. So I don't think that she would get the invite. That's my guess. I think he would probably send her the opposite of an invite that said something like, please stay away from my house tonight. It's terrible place to be. Please don't come here. I hate you. But tomorrow I will not hate you. Like he would just do something to get her away.
To make sure she never knew. We're having the house fumigated. Eagly's doing a training session. Steer clear. Makes sense.
Yeah. It's And these are probably the two least likely invitees.
Yeah, we're not.
I know. That's why I wanted to ask, missing out on all the fun. This season is oriented in part, obviously, around alternate dimensions. So if your characters were going to be tempted by life in an alternate reality, what would the draw be? What would they each have to see beyond the door in order to want to walk through?
I think a lot of ladies. At a bio plays on the other team.
Yep.
So I think, it might be a nice draw.
I don't know. I mean, Vigilante's mind is that's a maze. Trying to figure out what's going on there. Meeting himself clearly is really important to him. Maybe he'd want to live in a cartoon world. I can't figure him out. I don't know what he'd want.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard because as myself, I would love to go to a world where there was no internet. I'm 56. I was well into my 20s before the internet came to be what it is now. And there was something a lot more innocent and I don't know if it's just nostalgia, but I personally would love to go to a world with no internet. But I think economists, that's where he shines. Tech is his whole thing. Right. Without tech, he's just a guy who dyes his beard, Maybe an internet, but like without the meanness.
Oh, okay. So you're picking no internet, and then Economos is picking a kind internet. These are alternate realities indeed.
A non-bullying.
No trolls. No trolls allowed.
No trolls.
I would like to think that as me, Sasha loves animals. So I think that she would see a couple of animals, bunnies, puppies, deers, cats, birds, squirrels, and she'll jump right into that universe.
Incredible.
No second thought.
My son alive.
Yeah.
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 Oh, wow. I don't know. The way we find Harcourt in season 1, maybe it would be finding a reality where she had a job because she doesn't have a job. She really wants a job.
But should it be a good job?
Yes, Frank.
No, but
ideally a great one. Rewarding.
Ideally.
Good work-life balance.
Ideally his job, I think.
Right.
That's what I mean. Yes, you don't want to, be a roofer.
Ideally Rick Flag's job. If she could take Rick Prime's job, then she would walk through.
Alternate dimension Keith is such a massive addition to the story, and he is such a simultaneous gift for Chris and emotional wrecking ball for him. Yeah. So what felt like the most important element of Keith's essence to establish right away, both for Peacemaker in the show and for viewers at home, other than just his literal existence, which is of course in and of itself earth-shattering?
He missed that dynamic, that relationship, that protector that he didn't have because his father was such a horrible human. And so I think in this alternate universe, he's given the gift of what that would be like to have that person looking out for him. Keith represents that protection that he needed as a boy. It's like, yeah, I think of my kids, it makes me emotional, and I'm not supposed to be emotional talking about this stuff on a TV show. But you see that little boy going through that, he's had trauma, And so I think that's what Keith represents to him, is that support and that love and that bond, that he just didn't have as a child. And you can see why he turned out the way he did, because of it.
I actually, it's such an interesting and thoughtful answer. And it actually gets into something kind of related that I wanted to ask you about, which is like, okay, so you as a performer have access to different information than your character has, right? Yeah. And the fact that like we as viewers, you as a member of the cast and the team know what happened to our Keith in season 1, like what that history is, what Peacemaker, what Chris has gone through, that mourning, that regret, that way that event has shaped his entire life.
Yeah.
But alternate dimension Keith, at the beginning of season 2, when he comes into the story, it's that past is definition. That's the point, right? Is that past is not his past. So how are you managing and balancing when you're playing the character that distinction? How do you channel all of that history, which is so crucial to the relationship viewers are going to have to the experience of watching this season, while maintaining that compartmentalization of, I know this, but it's not my character's history?
Well, yeah, you have to forget all that stuff, right? Like you can only deal with the reality that you have, which is, this is our existence. This is our father. This is us being a crime fighting team together, this camaraderie that we have together. And this is the Chris I know. This is the one I love. And this is the one that I'm looking after and I'm protecting and I'm giving a hard time to. And like, so the other version, it doesn't come into play. So yeah, I can only deal in Keith's reality to that, and how it plays out to the audience is, how it plays out. That's the genius of James Gunn,
Right. Absolutely.
Those different worlds.
Let's talk about your characters for a second here. So to some extent, Adebayo and Adrian both measure their contentment, their well-being at a given moment through the lens of their, not just any relationship, but like their friendships, their best friendships. So what could they give to each other that neither Peacemaker nor Economos gives to them?
Well,
that's a good question.
I feel like Peacemaker and Economos, they give Vigilante nothing anyway.
They don't give
very withholding.
They give 2 fucks. That's the big
we've had a couple times where Adebayo's been very giving, or at least understanding of Vigilante, but usually it's to manipulate him. I'll say respect. She gives Vigilante. I feel like you've given Vigilante respect at times, and I don't think Peacemaker, maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
definitely not
kind of
I don't really brush me off, but you actually listen.
She challenges him,
and you challenge. Yeah,
I think she's like, even when he's talking about spiders or whatever thing that he knows so much about, I think she's always like, really?
Yeah, but you're giving. You listen. So and then that's why even like Huck was like, why are you entertaining this?
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that.
Yeah, and they do share a nice moment this season. So
yeah. Well, okay, so let's build off that. They're also both self-starters. 2 real entrepreneurial spirits here. Adebayo, businesswoman.
Come on.
Vigilante, has turned himself into a dispenser of justice. Exactly. Yeah. So on the business front, what could Vigilante do for Adebayo's budding spy network?
Oh, how would I use you?
Yeah.
Would you dare use Vigilante?
I would definitely use Vigilante, because you are driven though. Like when you have your mind set on something, you go and do it. Yeah. Like you don't stop. So I feel like going back to that manipulation, I don't think she would manipulate you because you're on payroll, so you have to do what she says. But I feel like she would, when she really wants the job done, no matter what that job is, she's gonna call it.
Yeah, maybe the deepest holes for the body, the worst.
Yeah, the worst things. Yeah.
At the start of season 2, Harcourt and Flag Senior find themselves in quite distinct positions professionally, but similar situations emotionally. They're both grieving in a fashion, and they're both isolated in a fashion and working through their trauma. So if Harcourt were back in an Argus conference room, what wisdom would Flag impart to her? And then if Flag were somehow granted the gift of an invite to an 11th Street Kids rooftop beer fest, what guidance would Harcourt offer him about how to move forward?
I think that the greatest thing that Harcourt might be able to impart on Rick Flag Prime in this season might be her newfound openness for understanding empathy for other people and forgiveness.
For her, if she were in my office, I would try to tell her to be less loyal and more of an opportunist.
Wow,
and,
bleak.
Yeah, to achieve her goals. Yeah.
Okay, it's an honest answer. I like it.
Yeah.
She wants a job.
It's true. Got to focus,
Gotta focus.
I want to ask you a question about both of your characters and where we find them, but also where we find them in terms of their shared journey as well as their individual journey, because Economos is facing a test of loyalty this season, and as such, he's a bit of a bridge between the character sets and the worlds of the show at the start of season 2. Dimensionality of a different sort, right? He needs to maintain his cover with Sasha, with Fleury, with Argus, but he also needs to protect his pals. He wants to protect the 11th Street Kids. So how is Economos thinking about that head-heart balance? And then how is Sasha thinking about other people's loyalty? What does that mean like and look like to her?
Economist really is a creature of habit. He doesn't always like his job, but he's good at his job. So he doesn't want to lose that. I think the people he works for, he's not a fan of. The stuff that they do a lot of the times, he's not a fan of. But it's something he's good at regardless. And he's also in a place now where he can help his friends who are being surveilled by this, the evil empire. But when it all boils down to it, he's truly more loyal to his friends. Like, he hasn't had friends his whole life, and now he has made friends with this ragtag group of misfits, and it means a lot to him. And I think if he had to decide, he would be with he would quit his job in a second.
Loyalty for Sasha is also extremely important because she's worked so hard to get where she is with Argus, and she admires Frank Grillo's character.
She's working to try and hopefully better
the world
and the country. I think her character, though working for like kind of not a great company, is still like a moral person deep down.